We're now going to draw the rafters, and for this command we use jack rafter, hips and valleys, parallel, and build a gable. First of all, I'm going to save, so our drawing is saved, and now we will start with the jack rafters. The jack rafters go from your apex down to the fascia, and there's usually a few of these on each job. There's one here coming down, and on the other side the gable's slightly different. We'll look at that in a moment. We can see we haven't done anything with the valleys yet. We do that last. We actually trim the valleys off because they're always different, and that gives us time just to make a few human corrections because we don't want the computer making too many decisions for us. After the jack rafters, hip and valleys, so there's only two hips, that's these two here. You might think that these two as well will do this a different way. If I click on one of these, you'll see that the rafters have gone the wrong way. So Control Z, and I'll just quickly throw those other two back in. Parallel rafter. Next, make sure the tick is on ends because we want an end to go on the end of each ridge. Next, that's set to joists. I think we've gone the wrong item there. Let's try that again. We're on rafters. Next, that should be set to rafter and not joist. Next, 1, 2, and across, end, end, down to the fascia. Same with these ones. And we've got a slightly different scenario here. First of all, I'm going to put across the back of where the gable is, and then along the ridge. Last, and on the other side. At this point, I'll exit out of here and go to my trim edge. If I pick on a valley, I can then pick on the rafters that trim onto that valley, and there'll also be a couple of rafters that need to be deleted as well. Again, coming down onto the fascia and back onto the valley. So this just takes a few minutes, and it gives you time just to check that everything's in its right spot as well. Okay, delete there. We've got a couple of small little rafters here. You can decide whether you want to keep them or not. I'm just going to take those out. These are the parts that the computer can't look after for you. And we've just got one which we missed. Okay, so we had two rafters there. That was a problem on that corner. And another one to delete. So there we have everything except this front corner, or rear corner, sorry. What I'll do with this is do it manually. So hip and valley, I'll just see what we can put in here. Nothing goes in there. And what I can do is just pick a rafter up. I could go endpoint, control, there's one, there's another. So you can use what you've already had, and I can trim these off and trim them back down the bottom. So use what you've already got there. Now we have to remember that the rafters also go from the top down, and therefore I'm going to go to the apex, P for perpendicular, down the bottom. I'm now going to go offset 600 millimeters. That's 600 meters. 0.6. That's better. So I've offset those two lines, these two, and there's a further two coming down. So back to the trim to edge, just get everything trimmed across. And trim to there. So there we have all our rafters on the building, and we'll look at building the gable next.